up everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing alright and welcome if you're here for the first time. Today we're actually going to be building with the Werewolves pack, and I built this house on stream when was it, like Friday or something? I don't know when it was. But I've decided to recreate it for a speed build just because why not? I thought I'd share it on my channel as well as on Twitch, and that way you don't miss out. So yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about the build because I really want to talk about the items and stuff. So I were going to say don't let me get distracted, but I'm now realising there's literally nothing you can do about it because you have no control on what I talk about, considering that this were recorded in the past. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I just built it with just base game and the Werewolves pack. I keep wanting to call it something else. I can't, my brain is like, did they really just call it Werewolves or is it called something else? But I don't know why I keep thinking like that. But yeah, like I said, built it on stream and it was my first sort of go at looking through the build and buy items. I've started a little let's play, little short series I'm going to do playing through the gameplay and everything. But I've not really had a chance to look at the build and buy items, and I will say that so far they are really good. They're definitely my sort of, I don't want to say aesthetic because I wouldn't say that I necessarily have an aesthetic, but they're my sort of style that I would go for and that I like to build with and play with. That sort of industrial, rustic sort of style. I like all the items that we got. There's a lot of cute little items and stuff. Because it is sort of predominantly a gameplay pack, I find that the game packs that are more gameplay focused, such as Realm of Magic, Vampires, what's another one? Jungle Adventure. I feel like the build and buy stuff tends to be less, as opposed to something like Dream Home Decorator, for example, which is more build buy focused. What's another one game pack that's more build buy focused? Off the top of my head I can't really think of any, but yeah, I feel like this one, it's a decent mix, but it is definitely more gameplay focused. We didn't get tons in cast, we didn't get tons in build and buy, but I feel like we got enough. I feel like it's a good all-rounder, bit like Parenthood. Parenthood's got some decent cast, it's mainly gameplay, but it's a good mix of cast, build and buy, gameplay. I feel like it's alright. And then also we got a world with it, didn't we? So yeah, my overall opinion of the pack so far is that it's quite good. It's quite decent. I were a bit nervous for its release, I'm not going to lie. After everything that happened with my wedding stories and everything, I were a bit oh god, I hope it's not going to be another one of them. There is quite a few bugs that I've come across. Not so much in my own gameplay and me playing it, but just watching other people. People have had issues with the game loading, just lag in general, and sort of glitchiness and game crashing and stuff like that. But at this point, sometimes I wonder if that's just the game itself or if it's the packs that they're adding onto it. I feel like with my wedding stories, it's definitely a problem with the pack because that brought new issues with it, specific to that game pack. But I feel like as The Sims releases more and more content, it is just going to be a bit more difficult. I don't know, maybe there's more lag and stuff. But then I know people that just ran base game and Werewolves together and they still faced issues. So I don't know if you can really blame it on the the base coding for the game or if it's the game pack itself. I don't know. I'm not fully educated on all that sort of stuff. If you do know and if you've had any issues, I'd be interested to know because that sort of stuff does interest me. Not that I can really do about it. But yeah, anyway, I will talk about the build then anyway, rather than rambling on about problems that The Sims 4 has in general. So yeah, I built this house for the gameplay that I've been doing, or the let's play that I've been doing. So it's for my sim self, it's sort of built with my own tastes in mind. But also I wanted to use as many items from the Werewolf pack as possible and go with a style that's kind of I don't know how to explain it, a bit like a shack type thing, but also it's suitable as a home. And there also is a little surprise later in the video as well, that we'll get to. Well, it's not really a surprise, it's a little sneaky addition that I did to the build. But yeah, I'll talk about that when we get to it. So yeah, I just wanted it to suit my sort of style really, but also, like I said, incorporating a lot of the elements from the pack. I also used the holiday celebration kit, not kit, what is it even classed as? It's just a little free add-on. I used that as well. But yeah, I wanted to go for quite a rustic cabin, industrial, a mix of all those things, kind of grungy, kind of not run down, but you can tell that there's been stuff going on the inside. There's lots of scratches and like little bits of damage and stuff like that. But it's, you know, it's a werewolf's home, so it's gonna have stuff like that. So that's the kind of vibe that I wanted for the house. And yeah, you'll probably see me play with this build when I continue with the Let's Play. If you wanna see that, I'll link the first episode down below as well. But yeah, I had a lot of fun putting this together. I don't often do Sims 4 builds on stream, and when I do, I tend to do room builds. I don't know what it is, but I find building a bit like, I don't know, I get a bit nervous about it and stuff. I feel a bit embarrassed. Like, I don't know, I think I get a bit of like imposter syndrome, because people often say like, oh, you're such a good builder. Oh, I hate even saying it, but people will comment things on my builds or my videos or whatever it is. They'll compliment me and stuff like that, or say that I have a good eye for detail, or that I've got a good style or whatever. I feel so like cringe saying it. I feel like I'm telling lies, but I'm not somebody that takes compliments very well at all. So whenever people like say stuff like that, I say thank you and everything, but there's a small part of me that's like, no, they're probably lying. You're not as good as people say, really. And ultimately, I'm not really bothered about so much being good. I just enjoy building, and if people enjoy watching me build or enjoy my builds, then that's fine by me. Obviously, I put my stuff out there, so I do have something like in my head where I think it's good enough to share. I think you'd have to be sort of full of shit to be like, oh no, I'm an awful builder, me, but then make like videos and stuff. I don't know, that seems a bit mean to like other people. Obviously, anybody can doubt their own abilities. I'm not saying that you must think you're the best thing since sliced bread if you put like videos on the internet and stuff. I'm not saying that, but for me personally, I think it comes across a bit disingenuous to be like, oh, I'm a shit builder. Like, I think I'm alright, I think I'm decent. But yeah, whenever I get like compliments and stuff, I get this like feeling of like, are they lying, or are they just being nice? Are they only commenting, you know, because they want me to comment on their stuff? I don't know, I get that feeling. So when I build in front of people, I feel like that sort of, the veil will be lifted somehow. Like, you know, all along I'm actually not a good builder, because you're going to see me put a build together and you're going to see me struggle. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm somehow revealing a deep secret that I'm hiding, even though I'm not. But yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. I guess it's just imposter syndrome. But yeah, I get a bit like that when building in front of people. Don't really know why, I don't know. But there you have it, that's the feeling that I get. But I did have a lot of fun putting it together, is ultimately what I'm saying. So even though I were a bit, you know, like nervous, I still did it, and it was fun. I enjoyed looking through all the items. There's some really cute items in the pack. If you're a builder, I wouldn't necessarily, you should get the pack just for the build and buy items. It's not like something like Dream Home Decorator. I recommend that to everybody. I think it's one of the better build buy focused packs that there is. I mean, I know there's not a lot of them, but you know, like your stuff packs and stuff, I would never really say to somebody, oh yeah, definitely get that. There's only a handful that I would do. Which kind of makes me think, should I do a tier list, and should I do like a little pack recommendation video? What do you think? Would you like to see me do a tier list? I've never actually done one before. I've only ever watched them on like various different things, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just realising I didn't talk about the build, but you know, it is what it is. Got distracted talking about other stuff. But I will say, like I said, the overall vibe for the house, I wanted for it to be like run down, rustic, kind of obvious that a werewolf lives here. Put a few scratch marks down, bit of damage on the wall, all that sort of stuff. But I also wanted it to fit my sort of style, so that's what I've done. And then the little sort of sneaky surprise secret is that there is a basement underneath the house, which is not really a secret, I guess, in terms of the Sims. Like, other Sims are going to be able to access it. Well, they are if they're a werewolf. But I built it in mind that the Sim could have like a little hangout for the werewolf friends, but it's also a place where they can become a werewolf and be like enraged and all that sort of stuff. So as part of the werewolves like gameplay, your Sims build fury, and when it's like a orb type thing, and when that orb or ball or whatever fills up, the Sims like become a werewolf and they can't control it. They like transform, and then they go on this like little rampage where they scratch stuff, they break stuff, they scare Sims, they pee. It's like a whole thing. It's a lot of fun actually. But yeah, they do that whole thing, and there's a lot of stuff to do with werewolves where like across all types of werewolves, like lore and stuff like that. I know I'm kind of going off like Harry Potter when I think about it, but like werewolves tend to, the ones that are ashamed of themselves, I guess. Or the ones that don't want to hurt others will like lock themselves away, and they'll like try and make it so that they can't hurt anyone or they can't destroy things or whatever. So we've put a little space at the back of the basement for that as well, where you can like send your sim as they're about to transform and like lock the door on them. I feel like I need to change the door between the hangout area and the werewolf area, because the werewolf will just be able to walk through, and the door that's got the werewolf painted on it, you can't lock that and you can't like do anything with that. So you know, normally like doors you can just lock them, like lock for everyone, lock for pets, whatever. You can't, the options don't come up on that door for some reason. So there's another one that doesn't have a werewolf painted on it, so I'll swap that out before I upload it to gallery, and that way that if your werewolf sim does go into the back part of the basement, then they'll be able to lock the door, or you'll be able to lock the door. Just make sure that you do it before they turn into a werewolf, because then you can't do it. So yeah, that's the kind of whole thing that I wanted for the basement. And then I also did like a little study area where I kind of imagined that the sim would research werewolf lore. There's actually quite a lot of lore with this game pack. I was watching a lore video, and then I was like reading through some of the items myself, and then like reading through like the family bio and stuff. There's only one family that lives there, but there's like townies as well, so I was like reading through stuff. And yeah, there is a lot of lore, and it kind of references other pack, like it references Realm of Magic and vampires, and yeah, it's really good pack. I think it's alright. As somebody that's predominantly a builder, and then second to that I'm a family gameplay person, I would say it's good, it's enjoyable, and it kind of makes me want to play vampires, because I've never really played with occults. I've played with aliens a little bit, I briefly did some Realm of Magic, never quite finished it, I think I got bored of it. But yeah, so far I really do like it. I love the world. I've not fully explored it yet, but so far I really like the world. I like the look of it anyway. I don't know how in depth it is or like that, but yeah, like I said, in my opinion, it's decent. Anyway, we're just doing the exterior now, and I wanted it to be quite sort of like overgrown, fit in with the sort of foresty vibe that's going on. I didn't want to overdo it though, but I feel like I kind of did. I don't know, I think it's like downplayed compared to what I imagined. But I was kind of torn between doing like a cabin and doing like a shack, which I think are kind of different things. They're similar, they're in the same sort of vein, but they are different, aren't they? Like, you can have like a nice, polished, you know, good looking, couldn't think of another adjective. You can have like a nice, well put together cabin, and you can have like a rundown looking shack, and you could look at them and go, yeah, that's a cabin, that's a shack. I kind of wanted to merge those two things together. So we've got like a cabin element, but then it's like on the interior, it's quite like nicely decorated with some like rough stuff, you know what I mean? Like the couch is all like patched up. There's a rug that's a bit like worn looking, there's scratches and stuff. And then there's like, you know, neater looking things, you know, wood, and that's the only thing I can think of. Wood is enough to describe it as a cabin, but you know what I mean? Like I wanted it to be like a wood cabin, but also kind of like a rundown shack type thing. So yeah, I hope I did a good job of explaining that. I feel like I didn't. I think you'll probably get what I'm on about. Like, I want it to look run down, kind of, but not like proper run down. Do you know what I mean? It's not like an abandoned house or whatever. But yeah, anyway, I would love to know if you have any build suggestions or anything that you want me to build specifically to do with the Werewolves pack. I think I'm going to do one more. I don't want to do like a ton of different builds with this pack. I feel like there's only so much that I can come up with. Like ideas and stuff. I kind of thought of building like a werewolf hangout, like a community lot, but I'd have to look into like how to put that together. I'm not 100% sure on like how I would even do that. Either way, I would love some build suggestions if you have any, or if there's anything in particular or a certain type of house you want me to build. Maybe I could do like a family house for a werewolf family or something like that. I feel like that would be quite cool, and I could potentially use other packs as well. But I definitely did want to do one that's just base game and werewolves, because I tend to do that when a new pack comes out. Like, I'll just build with one pack, well, that pack that's come out, and then base game. But yeah, I also put down some planter boxes outside, and the telescope, which if you didn't know, in base game there is a new telescope that is a regular size. It's not that massive telescope thing that your sims have to go inside, and it's absolutely huge and makes no sense. And half the time you can't even play with it because it's too big. We've got a normal size one. Love it. I think it's the best thing that they've added base game. Not the best thing ever, but in recent sort of times, this year at least, I'm really happy with it. And then also we got one with Werewolves as well, which is kind of like a makeshift one. It kind of looks like, you know, like a spyglass, and then they've just like put it on a tripod. Like that's kind of what it looks like. But yeah, I decided to put one of those on the little decking thing, and then I put some planter boxes outside. Like I said, I sized 2 of them down. I don't think they'll be functional if they're sized down, but I wanted a bit of variation in the size. I didn't want to just plonk down one big planter box. But you can always size them back up if you want. You just use the bracket keys, the like square bracket keys, to size things up. So yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody knows that, but if you didn't, that's how I sized it down. And then I kind of wanted to conceal the basement entrance as well, because I kind of want it to be like a secretive type thing. In terms of gameplay in The Sims 4, it's not really like a secret. Like Sims can actually access it if they wanted to, but you know, that's what I wanted. That's like the backstory. It's all covered up, it's kind of a secret. Covered it in a bunch of plants and trees, and then I put some signs up as well to kind of warn away other Sims. But yeah, with all that being said, we are coming to the end of the video now, and there'll be some screenshots at the end for you. There's a couple of changes that I made, like after I finished recording and everything. If you do want to download this build, my ID is HutchPlays on the gallery. And like I said, if you do have any build suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments as always. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye!